Norris established himself as a force to be reckoned with when he took John the Beast Mugabe's world title with a single devastating right hand in the very first round of their 1990 bout. And his star continued to rise when he defended his title against the legendary Sugar Ray Leonard and floored the ex-champ twice, forcing Ray back into retirement. By 1993, he was considered one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world. He made a total of 10 successful defenses of his title before he stepped into the ring with former welterweight king Simon Brown, who scored a shocking knockout win in the 4th round, raising serious questions about Terry's ability to take a punch. Terry regained his crown in a rematch last year as he put on a solid exhibition of his boxing skills and stayed out of danger, but questions about his chin remained. Questionable also were Terry's tactics in some of his fights, beginning with his first loss back in 1987 when he was disqualified after hitting his opponent when he was down. And he continued to throw illegal punches like that one against Donald Curry, but he wasn't disqualified again until he met with Santana the first time last November. Through 4 rounds, it was a surprisingly tough fight for Norris, but in the 5th, he appeared to get the upper hand until this moment. He spun off the ropes and landed an illegal rabbit punch to the back of Santana's head. The blow did not appear to be very powerful, but Santana stretched out and stayed there. Even as the doctor implored the fighter to get up and fans threw cushions into the ring, the referee had no option but to disqualify disgusted and upset Terry Norris. The new champion was carried from the ring on a stretcher. He had captured the crown flat on his back. The WBC ordered a rematch for April, and this time Norris totally dominated Santana and was on the verge of a knockout when the bell ended round 3. Now after the bell, the ref warned Santana about holding, then this. Terry says he didn't hear the bell. Again, Santana went down and stayed down. Again, Norris realized he had thrown away the title. And again, unbelievably, Santana, the champion, left the ring on a stretcher. Terry Norris swears he's learned his lesson.
Now that I had a rematch, I'm going to listen for the bell, make sure I don't hit him behind the head. You know, I don't want people to think I'm out there trying to cheat anybody and trying, you know, I beat the best. Just straight up beat the best. And Santana is not the best, and you know, he's not even worthy to have the WBC championship right now. And I don't think I have to cheat him to win the title.
Alongside the boxing maven here at ABC, Alex Swallow. And Alex, if you're around this sport long enough, I guess you see most everything. I've never seen anything quite like what's happened with Santana Norris.
Dan, in a sport where the bizarre is often commonplace, the 2 Santana Norris fights rank right up there with the craziest things that I've ever seen. And in my opinion, there is fault with both men. Yes, let me work off this, Jay. Thank you very much. I was trying to say, before I didn't have my mic in front of me, Dan, that this is one of the craziest series in boxing that I've ever seen, and in my opinion, there is fault with both men. Terry Norris threw illegal blows twice, as you saw, the second much worse than the first, and there is just no excuse for that, especially when, as we just saw, these were not flukes, but rather part of a pattern throughout his career. As for Luis Santana, in my opinion, uninformed in terms of medical training as my opinion is, I believe that even if Luis had a concussion as a result of those blows, he was conscious throughout. In fact, in the first fight, he opened his mouth when the doctor arrived so his mouthpiece could be removed. He was conscious enough to get up, and in my opinion, he was faking the effect of those blows in order to get his opponent disqualified. And while I hate to see illegal punches go unpunished, I also hate to see fakery get rewarded. Now, as for today's fight, no less an authority than the New York Times calls it potentially fascinating, quote-unquote. But like tonight's Mike Tyson fight, that's because of the past rather than the realistic potential of the fight itself. Terry Norris is a huge 20-to-1 favorite. He has outstanding talent, except for that suspect chin, and he should win easily. Luis Santana, at age 36, you see him there, after 14 years as a pro, to be totally honest, is a washed-up former contender. Before his first fight with Norris, he had won only 3 of his previous 10 fights. He really has no business being in the same ring with Terry Norris, but that was true the last 2 times they met. Let's just wait and see.
Okay, Alex, let's go ahead and check the numbers of the fight. The tail of the tape, you see that Santana is 8 years Terry Norris's senior. Numbers down the line, both fighters really made the weight easily. Norris could fight at a lighter weight. Let's look at the rules. The WBC rules apply today. Scoring is on the 10-point must system. Neither the standing 8 nor the 3 knockdown rule is in effect. The fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the final round, and only the referee has the power to stop the bout. The referee for today's fight is Joe, the veteran of a lot of big fights, and he'll be the guy to get this thing started here this afternoon. Both fighters are in the ring, and we're set to go for the WBC Super Welterweight title bout between Luis Santana and Terry Norris. And we're all hoping that this isn't anywhere nearly as bizarre as it was the first 2 times around. A wild right hand by Santana goes over the top of Norris. Norris clinches along the ropes, separated by Cortez. Alex, if you're Luis Santana, you just got to be hoping to land that one magic shot on the, as you say, suspect chin of Terry Norris. It looks like he's gunning for it early.
Well, in the first bout in Mexico, he actually did buzz Norris once, had him hurt, had him wobbly, scored a knockdown. I thought the referee was generous in awarding a knockdown, but he definitely did buckle him for a second, and he knows that, and he's going to do just what you said, go out and try to make something happen real quick while he's still got some strength in his punches. He was warned there about grabbing the back of Norris's head and pulling him down, not ruled a knockdown. Cortez cleaned his gloves and sent him on his way. Oh, a good combination by Terry Norris. All the physical attributes lie in the corner of Terry Norris. The superior strength, the superior hand speed, the superior footwork. Youth is on his side. And yet, Luis Santana is the champion twice over. 2 levels to watch this fight on, Dan. One is whether Terry Norris can avoid making an incredible third mistake and losing somehow to Luis Santana, but also whether Terry Norris... Good left there by Norris, Alex. Good left hook. The other is whether Terry Norris can regain that skill and ability that he showed on his way when he was rated among the top 10 pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Top 3, really. Now, the one thing we know about Luis Santana is that he can take a punch. He has demonstrated an ability, at least in his last couple outings with Norris, that he's taken some solid shots and continued on. Again, Norris in the red trunks with the close white stripes. Santana wearing the red, white, and blue check trunks. And in the first 2 minutes of round 1, Luis Santana has gone from a guy who was out there trying to land a bomb to a guy right there who's clinching, who's looking to cover up. Terry Norris, with just the beginning of his offensive barrage, has put Luis Santana much more into defensive shell. There was an illegal punch. Yeah, there's hitting and holding by Santana. Even the most novice of spectators here at the MGM Grand observed it. And as we've often seen in the past, when Terry Norris, something happens, his temper is quick to flash. Just saw that left hook by Terry Norris miss. That's a punch that he has developed. He used to be just a right hand down the pipe power puncher. His power was all in the right hand, but his hook is better, and it's finding Luis Santana, and Santana is hurt. Yes, he had a couple good body shots, but now Terry Norris is on top of him. Final seconds of the first round. And I'm not sure why the referee... That separation. That separation definitely helped Santana. Cortez pulls Terry Norris away from Luis Santana. We're going to keep it here, folks. Okay, Sam, relax. Just relax. How you feel, man? Let's take a look at the end of round 1. The right hand started it. Left in combination miss. Santana bounces off the ropes. And that cuff. Give him water. On the top of the head, you see his eyes are not right. They're unfocused. Trying to get you to retaliate. Joe Cortez there jumped in as Terry Norris was trying to disengage himself to throw more punches, and I think he had and should have been allowed to throw more punches. Joe Cortez stepped in to break a clinch that no longer was in effect.
Don't get desperate, okay? Don't get desperate. All right?
Keep in mind, you can only be saved by the bell in the final round of this fight. So if Santana would have gone down, he would have had to get back up. The beginning of the second round here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Dan Yurdorf and Alex Swallow ringside here on ABC's Wide World of Sports. And Luis Santana, a rocky ending to the first round.
The interesting thing about that point, there's an uppercut on the inside as Terry Norris is throwing punches, trying to punch out of the clinches, which is what you're supposed to do.
Well, Terry Norris trying to, certainly Alex has stepped up his aggressiveness, but all the, geez, everything is in his, oh, there's a nice little counter back with the left.
Yeah, from the southpaw stance, he boxes a lot. Boy, Santana just looked totally shot there. You saw him, 36 years old, been through a lot of wars in his 14 years. And just
a combination from Norris puts Santana down. Count is to 8. Luis Santana will continue, but you wonder for how long.
Joe Cortez took an extra second just to look into Santana's eyes and then let the fight continue.
And there's a veteran move, trying to clutch, trying to grab, but Terry Norris has so much going for him. A solid right hand from Norris connects.
And you just wonder what's going through Terry Norris's mind. You know he's saying to himself, don't foul him.
There's another right hand, a short chopping right hand from Norris right on the ear of Santana. Again, there's no 3 knockdown rule. This is the second knockdown of the second round. Another knockdown will not necessarily end the fight.
Santana responded to Cortez, but he's fighting in slow motion.
Oh, another left hand really hurt, and that really was more or less pulling him down.
That was not
good refereeing by Cortez.
That's correct. And good for Santana to get the extra time to try to recover. Minute left for Terry Norris to finish his man. Puts another 2 rights down the pipe.
They were down the pipe. There was a good comeback. Another right hand.
And that's it.
Cortez stops the fight. Now, there is no 3 knockdown rule. George Cortez did not have to stop it, but he'd seen enough. He's seen enough, and Terry Norris has regained his championship.
And you see the bitterness in Terry Norris. He went over and yelled at a man who he felt had cheated him out. Terry is convinced that Luis Santana, by laying down the canvas, cheated him out of his title, took it away from him, and kept it. And you saw the hatred pour out of him in that shot.
The celebration by Terry Norris at 2:09 of the second round. Joe Cortez stops it. And whether he stopped it there or stopped it later, I don't believe anybody here at ringside thought the outcome was going to be any different.
Dan, that's the result that everybody expected on November 12th of '94 when they first met, and they certainly expected on April 8th of this year when they met the second time. Finally, Terry Norris has won easily over Luis Santana the way he should have the first 2 times. Let's take a look at action.
This is the first knockdown here in the second round.
It was a first, I think, the right hand. I think the left put him down, but it was the right hand that did the damage. Here comes a second knockdown. Santana with his hands up, defending himself, but just putting that left out there, and Norris countering over the top of it and drilling him.
Very powerful, compact, quick right hand right on the left ear of Luis Santana, put him down, and here's the final knockdown where Cortez, I think, wisely stops it. 1
right has landed, and a left, and another right, and that's the one that put him down. As you had pointed out, Dan, there was no 3 knockdown rule, but Joe Cortez said enough was enough. Even though Santana was fully conscious, as you saw, it's still a correct decision.
Didn't he? He gave every impression that he was able to continue, and that's just an outstanding job of refereeing by Joe Cortez. We still have a full afternoon of boxing coming your way here from Las Vegas. We have an interview with Mike Tyson done by Alex Swallow about 9 days or so ago. Plus, we're going to bring you one of the great heavyweight championship fights of all time between Ken Norton and Larry Holmes back in 1978. So don't go anywhere. A lot of boxing still coming your way here from Las Vegas on Wide World of Sports.
Joe Cortez, the contest. He's the winner by way of technical knockout, once again regaining his WBC Super Welterweight Championship of the World. Terrible Terry Norris.
Well, Terry's up in the ring right now, and Alex is with him. Alex, take it away.
Terry, I know you thought you were going to beat him the first time. I know you thought you were going to beat him the second time. What does it feel like here after finally getting it done?
Really? Just something it should have been done a long time ago, but I kept making mistakes, but I'm happy. I'm happy I got it back now.
Are you going to be able to put this behind you and move forward in your career? What are your goals from this point out?
Well, my goals right now I like to fight Pernell Whitaker. Unify the division in the junior middleweight division, and then move up to middleweight. But right now, my main plans are to unify the division and fight Pernell Whitaker.
Can you get down to 147 pounds to fight him, or does he have to come up to fight you?
No, I can get down. Well, I like to make we have to make plans and just plan it out first. But I was 152 today. I'm sure that we can arrange something.
Congratulations to you, Terry. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Now let's go back to Dan Deerdorf at ringside.